Hello, everyone. Welcome to As Seen on TV, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Season 1, Episode 1, Pilot. I'm your host, Dom Greco, and with me is my co-host, Mike.
Hi.
So, we are starting new podcast series, and we're pretty much going to review and analyze the new show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. by Marvel. And, So in the very first scene, the opening scene, we are introduced to Michael and his son Ace, in which Michael is revealed to have supposed superhero powers, and he rescues a woman from a recently exploded building. So, what was your first impression on that pair, Mike?
Well, my first impression is just innocent bystanders. I mean, I kind of had a feeling that there was going to be something significant there because, they're focusing on these two random people who, their kid was looking at action figures of the Avengers in the window. But first impression, first thought was going to be like, oh, okay, who the hell is this guy? Okay, super strength. He's pounding into the walls to climb the building. I was thinking more that he was, an already established Marvel superhero for some reason. I don't know why, but that was just my first thought. And my first impression was basically, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, my first impression was they were introducing a reoccurring character, which, as this episode went on, it came kind of clear that he's probably just going to be a one-off character.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to really focus on the relationship between him and his son Ace more than anything. And I thought that was kind of cool, because it kind of made you feel sorry for him in the end.
Yeah, I guess you feel sorry for him, engage sympathy from the audience because he really wasn't that bad of a guy. He was doing things for what he thought was the right reasons.
Right. So then, as that scene concluded, we get the first glimpse of one of the main characters, this girl Skye, who she's a hacker with an obsession for superheroes, and she wants to reveal what actually happened that S.H.I.E.L.D. themselves are trying to cover up. So how did she come across to you?
Uh, well, I have mixed feelings on her. I kind of like her and don't like her at the same time. She's got that arrogant streak that most hackers have. Like the I'm better than you in every way, shape, and form. And oh, look, my laptop is more powerful than your entire government agency and all of your unlimited funding and advanced technology. But I don't know. I can't really give a final opinion on her yet. I have to see more as it plays out.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, she's definitely she's an oddball, kind of.
I just personally I didn't like her at all in there's not one redeeming quality that I found about her in the very first episode. So
Yeah,
time's gonna have to tell him that.
I want to give her the benefit of the doubt because at the moment, like at this very moment, I'm kind of with you on that one. So I'm reserving judgment for a couple episodes.
Yeah. There were definitely a few funny moments when the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. grab her and take her to their plane and they're interrogating her, and there's some funny moments there, but outside of that, I really just was not feeling the character at all.
Yeah, I like the whole, she's basically doing something like, yeah, you're never gonna find me, and then the door opens and standing right there, like, hi, how you doing?
Right. So
But
then very shortly after that, we're introduced to Agent Grant Ward, and he was introduced in an espionage scene where he had to recover
an
a
item.
yeah, a Shatari Neuralink, which turned out to be, which going back to the Avengers movie, there's pretty much that's our first major connection to the movies, other than the intro where they kind of just summed up the events of New York and whatever in the battle that happened there. But this is the first reference within the actual confines of the TV show that we have reference to it. But so it was mentioned that his espionage scores were actually the best after Agent Romanoff, which who might that be?
That's the Black Widow or Scarlett Johansson or however you want to, or gratuitous leather boobs, however you refer to her in the Avengers movie.
Right.
So that sets him up as he's a decent agent or a better than decent agent. And the whole scene, he steals a fingerprint off of a glass, I believe, of some guy in a restaurant, and then he uses it to hack into that guy's super secure safe and beats the ever loving crap out of his bodyguards in a pretty brutal manner. Like it was, I mean, the fight scene there was like they seem like they're no joke in this show. They're just pretty straightforward. And what did he do? I don't even remember what he did, but there was a moment where I was like, ah, shit, that hurt.
When
But
I liked when he ripped the kitchen drawer out of the thing
yeah,
and blocked a punch with it, and then beat the guy with it. Like,
maybe that was it. There just,
there's
yeah,
some good. Is very Mission Impossible Born Identity kind of.
yeah. You know, I
Yeah,
got a Born Identity feel from that actually.
yeah. So that character is definitely gonna be something to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
So following that scene, we had the return of Maria Hill, which she plays. I forget her character's name already in How I Met Your Mother. Barney's wife,
Mm-hmm.
her future wife. But she made a return from the Marvel Avengers movie, and she debriefs Agent Ward on his return. It seems that she's a one-off character that they just kind of brought in from the movie just to set establishment that she's still within ranking there. But there could be a few guest appearances that we don't know about. So she's currently not a regular cast member, but what is her actual ranking within S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Um, that's a tough one to figure out. In the Avengers movie, she seemed to be pretty high ranking. Like when she seemed to be in charge of the helicarrier when Nick Fury wasn't around to take direct command. I would say her ranking is equal to that of Phil Coulson and other agents like, yeah, I don't know. I think she might actually outrank Black Widow and Hawkeye and other agents like that. But the way I got the sense that she was given some sort of promotion since the Avengers. I don't know why I got that sense, because I don't know, just the way she's debriefing agents now and setting up other assignments and things like that. I could be wrong. Oh, she is second assistant director. Okay, that works. Yeah, I thought they always tout Phil Coulson as Nick Fury's right hand man, but in the movie he's killed, and I guess yeah. Okay,
Right.
so she's assistant director.
So speaking of Phil Coulson, he returns for the TV series, very much alive, as a surprise to most. Some people saw it coming, and then I'm pretty sure it was announced a little bit ahead of time too, so people kind of had an idea. But the last we saw him was in the Avengers movie. He's suffering extremely serious wounds at the hands of Loki, and we see him as Nick Fury approaches him and says to use his death to motivate the Avengers into pulling together.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know exactly what happened with Phil Coulson. We don't know exactly the extent of... He was... According to the rumors going around, that the official story is that he didn't have fatal wounds. He was kept in a secure location until he was healed, where people with rank 7 security, I believe it was, only had access.
Yeah.
But there's no official... This was not stated on the TV show. All it was stated, I believe, Agent Ward comes in and says, he died, as far as I knew, at the Battle of New York.
Before the Battle of New
Agent,
York, yeah.
I'm level 6, and they said, welcome to level 7. So it seems that is kind of the story they're going with, but they still haven't explained it within the confines of the show. So, did you feel satisfied with this answer?
Yeah, kinda. Like they introduced him that he, he recovered and spent some time in a grass hut in Tahiti, away from all contact, just to recoup and get a bit better or whatever. But I'm not satisfied for a reason here. After he goes off with his assignment or whatever, you see Agent Hill, Maria Hill there, and she's talking to Dr. Stryton, aka Shepard Book from Firefly, if you're a Joss Whedon, not like I am. He mentions something about Tahiti. Phil Coulson walks away, and then Doctor says he really has no idea what happened, does he? And Maria says no, and he can never find out. So, foreshadowing of something. So the theories I've seen touted from myself and others and things I've read are that he's a clone or a life model decoy, or there was some kind of magic science something used to resurrect him, that he actually did die, or that he has superpowers of some sort.
That'd be interesting. I'd like what kind of superpowers do you think he could have? I really can't come up with anything.
Well, my wife believes that she says that maybe he has some form of regeneration akin to Wolverine, but not as powerful. Which makes sense, because that would explain why he didn't die. I mean, he was impaled through the back by a spear,
Right.
so it's kind of a pretty serious wound. But I don't know. It could really be anything. Maybe he's super smart. Maybe he's good with technology. Maybe he's psychic, or I don't know. Could be anything. It's
Maybe
one
he
of
could even
those.
project images to others that they can see things. Therefore, maybe his wound wasn't nearly as bad as we thought because he projected us to see something else.
Possibly. That's even possible right there.
We don't know.
No, we
But
don't.
how do you think the Avengers is going to take the news that he's still alive? I, for one, could see Tony Stark being quite pissed off.
Yeah, I could see Tony Stark's reaction being like, "You're dead," or something along those lines, just very blunt and straightforward.
I could see him being very upset that he lied to him.
A mixed reaction of anger and joy, like, "Yay, you're alive," and "What the fuck, you're alive," sort of. So, um, I don't know how they're gonna react. That's a good one. I think they're all gonna react differently.
Yeah, I don't see Captain America getting as upset.
No, he'll
They
see it as, "Oh, okay, that makes sense. It was a tactical decision or whatever. Fine, I'm good with that."
the Hulk is not going to get mad enough to break out into the Hulk and start smashing things.
He'll be
So
displeased, possibly.
Tony Stark is definitely going to be the one that is the most upset about this, in my
Hmm.
opinion. So
Yes, I agree.
there's also they've what I thought was interesting about Phil Coulson. He's become kind of like this big popular character. He's the first major character that is created through the new Marvel Cinematic Universe, who
Hmm.
has moved his way now into the comics, which is kind of cool.
Right.
So he's actually been in some of the Spider-Man comics and stuff like that as well. So he's had talks with other characters outside of the direct Avengers universe.
Right. Yeah, I like that because I really do like the character.
Yeah.
I like him. Phil. Phil? No, his name is Agent, to quote Tony Stark. But, yeah, I like Phil.
Nice.
Moving
So,
on.
also returning from kind of the Marvel universe, we've had the Extremist concoction, which was brought to us in the form of centipede. We see Michael with the centipede device on his arm, and we learn that it is a combination of Extremist mixed with the super soldier serum from Captain America, some gamma rays, and some Chitauri tech from the Battle of New York and whatnot. So I don't really know what to think about it. To me, it just seemed like they needed something directly from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to tie it in immediately.
Hmm.
But the doctor that was focused on that started this, which is who Michael actually rescued out of the exploding building, she seems to not be the one in charge of this. So there's a higher up.
Yeah,
And
there's definitely a higher up there.
we find out there's an assassin that tries to kill Michael later, and they announce, oh, we have a third party. So who do you think is running this third party?
Really, I've thrown speculation out. I can honestly not. I have no idea. Just maybe some evil corporation or some supervillain that we haven't been introduced to. Maybe, Hydra reformed, or maybe it's AIM from Iron Man 3, or who knows who it is. I mean, it's definitely not working on her on her own because she's got access to Chitauri tech, which was supposed to be collected up and by Shield and covered up. She has access to Extremis, which the AIM people helped make big and create. She has gamma radiation, super soldier serum, all that stuff. That's a little bit more than you can do with as a single researcher with funding. She's being funded by someone with a lot of money or a
Yeah.
lot of connections. No idea.
So AIM was known as Advanced Idea Mechanics. That's what their
Yes.
acronym stands for. So yeah. So overall, what were your opinions on the premiere itself?
Overall, I liked it. Jury's still out over the show has a lot of potential and a lot of promise. I mean, So far, the pilot was good. It wasn't amazing. It didn't blow my mind or anything like that, but it was good, and it makes me want to watch more. So overall, I liked it a lot. I like the characters. I always loved Phil Coulson, so I'm happy he's back. I kind of like Agent Ward. We'll see where that goes. Skye. Right now, I don't like her, but maybe I'll grow to like her. One we didn't mention, Melinda May. I like her. She kicks people's asses and drives an enormously oversized jet.
There's a lot of room about Melinda's past that that could definitely come back to haunt her. Something is wrong with her past. We don't quite know what it was, and that's why she was so hesitant to join S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first place. So that could be a whole neat kind of backstory for them to explore and see what exactly, because it's not going to be just something minor. It's going to be a major plot point.
They said it was something that happened on a field mission, which is why she took a desk job.
Right.
But Phil convinced her with, you have to drive. I need you to drive the bus. Right. So that got her.
And then we also have the two scientists, which I'm really not too much of a fan of.
Not yet. I think they're thrown in there for some kind of comedic effect. Fitz and Simmons. I mean, their name Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The premiere to me, it was really well done. I enjoyed it. I already know right off the bat the series I'm going to enjoy watching. Mm-hmm. The one part of the episode that really kind of bothered me, other than Skye, like I said before, I did not like that character at all. The one thing that bothered me was when they're trying to subdue Michael, because as the centipede is in him, the super soldier serum and all that, Extremis is mixing with him, just like in Iron Man. He starts getting ready to the point where he's going to explode, and they're trying to find an alternative way, a solution to stopping it. And the choices that Coulson gives are... the choices given to Coulson, rather, are kill him, or... They're basically both kill him. Either way, I forget how they worded it, but the way it came out, it was definitely Ace was losing his father either way. He goes, find another option. He does not want to have Ace lose his father. So as we're in that final scene where Michael is trying to be subdued and they're trying to calm him down and keep him from exploding, all of a sudden he takes a bullet to the head and goes out, and you see one of the scientists holding the night-night gun that they had mentioned earlier in the show, and I actually somehow missed the reference to the night-night gun earlier in the episode. Mm-hmm. So to me, when they're standing there over the thing with a gun, and it's just like they shot him, and it was not very clear until the next scene, which...
The problem was... that Agent Ward's up there with a rifle. He's trained on Michael, ready to take him down if he needs to.
Right.
And then, it looks like Agent Coulson's finally getting through to him or whatever, actually making it so he's not going to go crazy and start beating the crap out of everybody before he explodes. And all of a sudden and he goes down. I was like, holy shit, because you realize that, the rest of the episode made you realize that Agent Ward kind of has a temper, or he's impatient and things like that. So you think well, what the fuck, dickhead? Why'd you just shoot the guy? Right. And then you realize he's holding this crazy looking sci-fi gun that they introduced earlier. That's some kind of crazy tranquilizer gun.
Right. As it was playing out, it just did not seem very clear to me until the next scene. So it was kind of like a moment why would you do that? It didn't set right with me, so that was my big flaw with the premiere. But I do like the way they set different things up, and there's definitely a lot of room for them. I like they've come out and they've stated that they want to make this series watchable for people who have not seen any of the movies, and they've thrown a few links to the movies in there. They've thrown Project Pegasus in there,
yes,
which that was mentioned in the Avengers, right? And I believe one of the Iron Mans, Iron Man 2?
Yes, Project Pegasus. That was the project that was studying the Tesseract. Really, its overall scope was to study objects and technology beyond conventional, scientific wisdom, things that we don't understand that could be classified as magic or alien technology or anything like that. So their big project was the Tesseract in the beginning of the Avengers.
Right. They also mention Project Puente Antiguo.
Yes. I'm not sure exactly what that project is. Puente Antiguo was the town from Thor where they find Thor, well, where Jane Foster and Eric Selvig run Thor over with their van. Um, that's that town from Thor, and I don't know what the project is. Maybe it was the cover up of Thor's hammer of Mjolnir when they found it,
Yeah, I believe it
or
was Skye who actually brought it up, so
Mhm.
that would make sense of just being a cover up in general.
Yep.
But some of the other the references they made was to the Battle of New York itself, the Super Soldier Serum, the Chitauri Tech, stuff like that. But there were a few other off references that most people didn't catch. So the one everybody should have caught was Skye actually made kind of a pun to the Superman, with great power comes a ton of weird crap that you're not prepared to deal with.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, so that's a direct Spider-Man reference. So they're tying in a little bit of the Marvel, thing with that. The other one, the more subtle one that most people didn't pick up was
Yeah, I didn't.
when Agent Simmons is talking to Agent Wards and he asks, "Are you excited to be coming on our Journey into Mystery?" And Journey into Mystery was actually a Marvel comic book series in which Thor made his debut. So they're throwing subtle little hints in there too. So do you think that they actually pulled this off where it's watchable for people who have not seen the movie? Is there enough explanation there?
Yeah, I think so. They said that they wanted it to appeal to all Marvel fans, even ones who haven't necessarily seen the movies yet. So by throwing in these great little references here and there, referencing a comic and then, referencing Spider-Man and things like that, I think they're so far off to a good start. Do I think that they're going to succeed? Maybe not quite yet, but we'll see. Like I said, they're on good footing right now.
They're definitely in good footing. Samuel L. Jackson actually, he stated publicly he would love to guest star as Nick Fury on the show.
Yeah, he's very interested in that.
Yeah, so
if they ask him, he'd do it. Apparently, so that's good right there.
Definitely. And then, so at the very, very end of the episode, we have Agent Ward talking to Skye. Or we have Agent Coulson talking to Skye, rather. And Agent Ward calls in for an 084. And they jump into their DeLorean-style car.
Well, it's the car that Coulson's...
flying car.
It's his old, it's a red classic car that he says nobody's allowed to touch or whatever. He's driving it the whole episode. And then Skye's like, that's all the way like...
We're never going to make it to the airport.
We're never going to make it to the airfield in like 10 minutes. There's no way. And he goes, one thing about, the classics, something or other, that stays up to date. I forgot how he put it, but he presses a button and, the car turns into a friggin' hover car and phew, flies away.
Yep. So we were trying to figure out what 084 actually stood for, and we rewatched the preview for next week's episode, and based on some of the screen captures and stuff we were reviewing on the footage, there appears to be some kind of alien object, and I believe that is what the 084 code name is for. Does that seem logical to you?
Yeah. When you're watching, it says... it starts off like next week on, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It shows Agent Ward saying, all right, they just called in a 084, and we all know what that means. And then it cuts to Agent Coulson going, yes, that means we don't know what it means. So it's probably, like you said, alien object or some unknown technology. Based on the screen caps and, still images and things that we saw, there's some kind of crazy-looking gun that they're investigating, frozen into a wall or a rock face. It wasn't that clear, but it looked like, I don't know, maybe a prototype Hydra gun, or it was big. So it could have been anything, really.
So this week on S.H.I.E.L.D., we're going to have Coulson, him and his team, S.H.I.E.L.D., they're going to Peru to investigate this mysterious object. And he's going to run into Commandant Camellia Reyes, which... It's stated more than just sparks fly. So it kind of seems that she was his former love interest.
It mentions that she's someone from his past, not exactly mentioned how or who or why or anything like that. but it's probably, like you said, his former love interest or something of that caliber.
So what exactly do you think this alien tech or this unknown object is going to be that they're investigating?
Anything. Power source, weapon, child's toy, trinket, communication device. I don't know. It really could be anything.
It's probably
But
going to be
it's
something to do with AIM directly. It's going to have to tie something in.
something to tie in with AIM or possibly the Chitauri or any. I really, it could be anything. That's like I said. It's something that Shield wants to get their hands on and keep out of the eyes of the public, obviously. But who knows?
Yeah. The way I see it, this TV show needs a villain to be introduced rather quickly. And I don't see them being able to hold off for too long. So
No.
I think that this is going to be a direct path to someone that they need to locate that is going to either reveal themselves to be the villain or lead them to the villain directly. So
Yes.
I would expect within the first 5 or 6 episodes we're going to know who the villain is for the series. I don't think we're going to have to wait till the end of the season for this one.
No, I agree with you. I mean, there's only really two ways they can do this, in my opinion, and that is either reveal him early and have a big confrontation, maybe not defeat him, but a large confrontation as the season finale, or, reveal the idea of an overshadowing villain and then reveal him in the season finale and set up next season. But I think it's going to be the former, and, they're going to reveal him soon.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I don't think it's going to remain interesting without a villain.
Yeah, if they keep the villain ambiguous for the entire season, and then set him up, even throw him into the last episode to kind of like throw in a hook, because I could totally see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think the popularity of the show is going to die off well before then. Everybody's expecting some kind of form of superheroes and villains in here. We already know they exist, and the whole series is kind of struggling with the fact that these people are dealing with the fact that they now know that superheroes and aliens and all this kind of, and gods are in existence, and they're trying to find their place in the world. So if we don't have that struggle by seeing some of those characters directly, maybe not the major Avengers or anything like that they've established in the movies, but at least some of the other ones, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, I agree. There'll definitely be more links to the Avengers, without a doubt. Will they bring in other Marvel superheroes as some kind of cameo appearance? Likely. Who I couldn't say, but likely. And do I want to see a guest appearance by Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury? Yes, I would like to.
Well, we already have Coulson, we have Maria Hill, so we have potentially Sam Jackson. Do you think we might end up with Iron Man and Captain America and the Hulk? I could see the Hulk because he's pretty much CGI. They can throw him in wherever they want. But do you think the actors are going to sign on to play these parts in the TV show?
I don't know. That's a tough call. They just gotta ask them. Hey, are you interested in doing a cameo appearance as Thor, or as Iron Man, blah blah blah, for an episode of the show? And then it's either yay or nay. But I mean,
I'd like to see them.
I would really like to see them too. It would be awesome.
Not counting it out, so I'm expecting to see at least 1 to 2 other than Nick Fury this season.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
A lot of people are saying in chat right now, issue is, can the TV show afford those actors?
That's a good point.
And this is Disney we're working with. Disney has a lot of money.
Yeah.
They can afford to get these actors in for a one-off appearance if they wanted to. Not a reoccurring, well, maybe a reoccurring role, but not a main cast. You're not going to see that.
Right, exactly. So they might be able to pull something together for 1 or 2 episodes, or maybe like a quick appearance here or there, and maybe a few lines or something. But you're right, not going to be a major recurring thing.
You could have a character, like Tony Stark in there, and he dresses up in the Iron Man suit, and then he's not actually involved in most of that because they're going to use CGI suit for Iron Man flying around, fighting, doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty much going to be doing voiceovers for that. So he would totally sign on for stuff like that. That is if he's still interested in playing the character. So
He's I remember reading somewhere that he's definitely signed on for the second Avengers, Age of Ultron.
I believe he's
But
also signed on for the third Avengers as well.
the thing I read was that he's negotiating that as we like now. They're in negotiations. Maybe he went through and signed on for it. I'm not sure. But it would it would be a little weird. You do three Iron Man movies, two Avengers movies, and cameo appearance in who's in the end of the Hulk, wasn't he? I think.
Nick Fury.
No,
and Tony Stark. Yeah. Yep.
It's a Tony Stark. So, I mean, I can't see him doing all those movies and then saying, "No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do Avengers 3." No, that would just be weird having to recast Tony Stark at the last minute.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I could see him. They've set up a very good cinematic universe. They really haven't had to replace too many characters. Obviously, the big one is Bruce Banner.
mm-hmm.
And I was upset that they didn't get Edward Norton at first to reprise his role in the Avengers. But I forget the actor that replaced him. He did
Mark Ruffalo.
Yes, he did a really, really good job in the Avengers, and I would like to see him reprise the role and not switch Hulk out a billion times.
Right. As far as I know, he also is reprising his role. So that's good there, and I agree. I really liked him. I think he did a fantastic job.
He's probably the first character that I could see being on the TV series if we're going to have a major appearance from one of the actual Avengers. I could see the Hulk being the first one.
I agree.
So.
Yeah.
All right, well, that about concludes this. So you can follow us on youtube.com/ASOTV. And you can expect to see some more podcasts of some of your favorite TV shows. And we will be back next week for episode 2 of the Avengers 084. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later.
Catch you later.